Hello? Oh, I don't have everything I need. Oh dear. Hopefully people will join. If you're joining, welcome. Good to talk to you. This is the Sunday night slow brew stream, where we're tasting things, trying. Oh man, does this look okay? No, doesn't look great right there. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Random stream. Don't you love these? Give me a second to set some things up, and we'll start kicking. Yeah, there we go. Is this working? How's the audio? Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's so far away. How's the audio? Oh, so far. Well, can you guys hear okay? If you're in the chat, go ahead and tell me if you can hear all right, because I tried to use a different mic setup, and it didn't work this time. So we're doing this. So I'll just talk loud, which I'm a teacher, so I'm used to that. All right, we are taste testing a few things tonight. And I'll tell you a little bit about each one. So, this is a short stream. I just want to chat with you guys for a little bit. It's kind of nice to get to talk to you guys every once in a while. And I always do these very randomly, so I'm sorry if you're watching this post and you're going, hey, I missed it. I'm sorry, but I need to plan these a little better, but that's just life. Hello, Stutter Change Right again. Ooh. Kai and David and Maddie. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. I got a couple things tonight. We're going to be taste testing 2 beers and a mead. Everything I've made tonight. So this, what do I want to start with? I've got an IPA. I've got I brewed too much stuff. Oh, brown honey ale. So I've got this, and this is the IPA. It's just the cold version. This is not the cold version. This is an apple cinnamon mead. So I think we'll work our way up to the mead, because of course that's life. But I want to hear from you guys. Feel free to chat in here and say what you're up to. I would love to hear what kind of meads you're making and just various other things. So I think that'd be fun. Let me adjust this real fast. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Let's start with the brown honey ale. And yeah. Oh, carbonation, good. By the way, everything I do, other than this 1 gallon keg, most of the things I do are bottle carbonated. So that's just easier. I got this 1 gallon keg a while ago. I don't know. It's been a little bit. It's been a crazy quarantine. So some brown honey ale, very carbonated, not too carbonated, but just carbonated enough. I do these all off camera, because seems like you guys don't like beer making, so that's fine. And my channel is called Man-Made Mead. Probably gonna stick to making mead, but ooh, that's very nice. I didn't get multiple glasses. This is already failing. I want to know what you guys are making currently. What are some things that you're actively making in your mead world, in your brewed house? Maybe you're making beers and wines and ciders. I don't know. I'd love to know what you're doing. This has some body to it. I didn't add anything. I guess it's probably the malt extract, and then of course the grains. I did add honey to this, so this is a braggot technically. Methaglens, Kev. I honestly I've never made a Methaglen. That's one of those for me to make on my list, which my list just continues to grow and grow and grow, because of course, I get lots of recommendations from you guys, which is awesome, but it just means my list grows quite a bit. I need to make more of those. It's weird how my camera view, I need to turn this. Sorry, professional streamer here. Is that better? spiced and wonderful, definitely. I would love to make a methylene at some point. Oh, we're sideways. Hold on. We're going to figure this out. What if we go this way? Boom. Bad? Good? Really know. Welcome, anyone who's joined. This is the Sunday night slow brews. Basically, it's just me talking about things I've made recently, and it's kind of fun. So this is a little more straightforward. This is my honey brown ale. Brown honey ale. I literally cannot say those words. That's troublesome. Super light. Honestly, I was not a big fan of this after I first made it because it kind of, I don't know, it just didn't, it felt flat. Not necessarily carbonation wise, but it felt flat in just like this taste. It didn't have the full malty taste that I was expecting. Just started making mead 4 months ago. Thanks for your help. Super glad I can help, Jared. Thanks for watching my stuff. You know, you guys are the reason I'm here. So I enjoy getting to talk to you all. Like this. This is a fun time right here. It looks a little better. I'm going to finish this off. I like these swing tops. By the way, if you're looking for good bottles in general, this seems silly, but go look on your local, if you have a local Facebook or a Craigslist or something like that, because every once in a while people will sell carboys, brewing equipment that you can get for really cheap. And so I got like a 5-gallon glass carboy, some buckets, a bunch of various equipment, and literally like 50 of these Grolsch swing top bottles for $40. Like the guy was just trying to get rid of it. So go on and look at your local stuff. You might find that people are trying to just get rid of things, which is kind of nice sometimes. Just racked about 7 gallons of mead. Nice. Traditional blueberry mint. Blueberry mint sounds great. Pumpkin spice, kiwi, banana, maple mead, cranberry, pomegranate, mint. That's a lot. Yeah. Scott, hey there. Been watching your stuff and really learning a lot. You from OKC area? Yes, I am. I am in that sphere of the world. So if you're ever around, let me know. I'm a person, so I like to talk clearly. You guys can see I have a bunch of stuff going on behind me. I can't spoil it, unfortunately. Sorry, I will not tip my hat to tell you what I'm doing because some of these videos take months. In fact, I just finished the last video section of a video that took 3 months, so that's something to look forward to. I've got a great video coming out tomorrow. I'm excited for that one. I've done a lot of I've been experimenting with some store-bought juices for ciders and wines and stuff like that, and so I made something. Oh man, got something in my eye. I'm gonna finish this off. I want to get to this IPA. This IPA is my newest beer I've made, so I definitely am curious to see how it turned out. Allie says, I've lived in a country where mead is pretty much unknown. Yesterday, my parents and I drank the first bottle, 3 months of mead. Cheapest. That's awesome, dude. Get it going. That's great. I love it. Hey, what's the average time from start fermenting to bottling? I try to push for 2 to 3 months, and I know that's a long time. But I can sometimes get away with a longer aging process because I have so many carboys. Like, you guys can't even see the top half of my. More carboys up there. So I have just a ton of stuff. I have a ton of room. Whereas if you were a brewer, what's my cat doing? If you're a brewer who is brewing out of your closet, you might not have as much space. My cat is losing his mind. He's been jumping up here recently and chilling, so maybe if we get lucky, he'll be temperamental enough to do that. All right, let's crack open. Oh, he's mad because he's doesn't have food in his bowl. So, all right, here's the IPA. All right. Now I will say, ooh, this specific bottle, the reason I grabbed it is because I opened it I shouldn't have done this, but I opened it last night to see if it was carbonating correctly because I bottled this a week and a half ago, and I think I blew off all the carbonation. So this is not a carbonated, not a very carbonated IPA right now. This is the Down Under IPA. This is what you see here, and had a ton of hops. Obviously, IPAs have a ton of hops, so I didn't list all the hops here. I keep my ingredients pretty simple. It's only 6%, pretty light, but I definitely think it's not bad. With some carbonation, it'd be even more refreshing. What are you doing, bud? Every time my cat gets hungry, he gets hangry, and he starts to try to open doors. That's his sign that he's ready for food, and so that's what he's doing now because he's hungry currently. So he's just gonna sit here and stare at me, which is fun. A little disappointed with this currently, not because I think it's bad, but because I blew off the carbonation yesterday. So that was kind of my own fault for not taking care of my business, but that's all right. So what are some brews? We got someone said a methylglyn. Kevin said methylglyn. What else are we making? What are some things on your list now that you're making, and what are some that you want to make? Because I would love to hear both of those, and get to know those things. And while you guys are typing that out, I want to remind you that if you like to support the channel, you can do it for $2 a month. If you go down to the join button here and hit join, it is $2 a month. You get to see all of my videos 4 days early. You get to see them before the rest of the world. So it's a way for you to help me continue to make videos, buy equipment to make videos, buy honey to make videos, because obviously honey costs money. That's funny. Ha! And it's just nice. So if you want to do that, hit the join button. If not, it's okay. You can just enjoy the content. Regardless, I'm just glad you're here. Got a few people saying stuff. Just racked a strawberry wine, secondary, and started a rhubarb wine today. I'm going to blend them when they're finished. 3 ounce. Ooh, that sounds good. Man. Gonna try and make a pina colada mead. That sounds good as well. I've got a couple different. I've got a bunch of products. Currently, this is how many projects I have. I have 13 video projects happening, and that's a lot. So if you're ever wondering what I do in my spare time, most of the time it's recording segments of videos that are going to go out in the future, because obviously lots of these videos take multiple segments, so it's not super simple, unfortunately. Cherry juice mellow. That sounds good. I definitely think, Scott, I'd be curious to see if you use sweet cherries or tart cherries, because obviously they can be very different tasting things. Man, I'm bummed that this IPA is not carbonated right now. It was carbonated because it went crazy last night. It's not carbonated now, that's for sure. I have a couple different brews. Most excited for strawberry daiquiri and elderflower dragon fruit. Hardcore. I think you could come up with a really cool name for the elderberry dragon fruit. I don't know what it'd be, but you could come up with a cool one. Mix with both. I definitely think tart. Okay, cherry's a hard fruit to use because if you use it wrong, it turns into a medicinal flavor that just it tastes like Robitussin. If you've ever had Robitussin, that just does not taste good. That's not the type of alcohol I want to drink. I don't want this anymore. I'm bummed with the result of this. Okay, I'm not quite ready for this guy. I want a little more of this, which I'm gonna pour this glass out because I gotta save my other glass for things. Welcome to everybody who's just joined. Super glad you're here. We're drinking some brews, talking about life, and yeah, this is the place to be right now. So I hope you're having a great night. I am trying a couple of my different beers that I've made. Specifically, this is a brown honey ale that I made on the side. This is a IPA, and it's the Down Under IPA. It's got a ton of New Zealand hops in it, and unfortunately, it's flat because I opened it last night like a dummy and let out the carbonation. So that's that. I made cough syrup with my cherry mead. Very, very easy to do. One of my cherry and white chocolate mead has been like a favorite of some of my friends, and I think partially because of age, but also I think the combination works really well if you can get it. Elderflower from the shop. You can make an elderberry tea. I cannot talk. This is terrible. Well, this is at least okay. The only problem with, I was talking about these Grolsch bottles earlier. You can get them for cheap sometimes online. These specifically have like a ribbing of like a design, and they're not label friendly. So if you're looking to try and label on top like I do, they don't exactly work super well. I have 15 pounds of Evans sour cherries frozen in my freezer. I'm waiting to make a 5-gallon wine from it. I'll end up adding sweet cherries to balance it. No more fizz. Make beer pancakes recipe. Interesting. Wow. Ooh, apple cider. That's what I have right here, Roy. This is what I'm going to get to here in a second. So he says, just bottled an apple cider that after 2 weeks tastes a little thin, almost watery before back sweetened with 1.5 pounds of honey. I had a 1.000 gravity. Your thoughts on maybe back sweeten with more honey? Roy, I would definitely recommend back sweetening. The way, and that's perfect. I'll get this here in a second. This is an apple cider. This is what I call my man-made cider, and it is honestly my pride and joy of my mead making career so far because I think I've nailed it down pretty well. It's 7%. Carbonated now because of course it's kegged in this little 1-gallon keg, and it is back sweetened. Now I had to actually take and add potassium sorbate and metabisulfite to stabilize before I back sweetened because otherwise it would just re-ferment. So what I would recommend to you, Roy, is to stabilize it unless you're wanting carbonation, in which case you need a keg to do that. You could stabilize it and back sweeten, and then that would add some sweetness to it, but also it might add some body. If you're wanting to add specifically body, you can add some maltodextrin, which I have some down in my little cubby thing here. But maltodextrin is essentially just a way to fill body within a mead or wine or beer or whatever you're doing. Now, some people aren't a fan of using white powders. I'm a fan of it, so that's just kind of where I'm at. But the maltodextrin is pretty cheap. I got a pound of it for like $5-10 maybe. I can't remember. But I got it at my brew shop. Super, super good stuff. It helps a lot. I hear you want. I'm sorry. Is that finishing my comment? Yeah, Roy, I would back sweeten with that. Add some maltodextrin. Add body to it. I always add cinnamon to mine, which, again, this thing, fantastic. I love it. Hey, Andrew. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining. I wonder if you might be stuck at work again. Last time we chatted, you were stuck at work. I hear you want the cherry to be dry to avoid cough syrup. Yeah, because I think the Robitussin has a sweetness to it that can add extra, I guess, medicinal taste to it. Honestly, I think you got to play with it some. It's also kind of a losing battle because some people, the moment they taste cherry, they have flashbacks of 8 years old whenever they had to take Robitussin or had to take cherry flavored medicine, and then it's like any alcohol. Like honestly, for me, I can't do spiced rum anymore. I had back in my college days, I had 2 or 3 incidents of just going wild with some spiced rum, and ever since then, I the smell of it gets me. Drinking it in a brew, oh my gosh, I feel like I honestly feel like I'm about to throw up. So I think it's like you get some PTSD from old drinking things or old experiences. So that's like that's just life. You can't appease everybody. And make sure you're making mead for yourself. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. Andrew at work, yeah. Shopping for my next brews. There you go. David says, I've added green tea, absolutely, to add body to my meads. That adds tannic value and, of course, some body, which is nice. Roy, I'm glad I could give you some advice, man. I'm always here to help. Made my first mead starting over the summer, and I'm just not drinking it. Thank you, Ryan Gosling impersonator. I'm doing my best, living my best life. Just kind of living in his shadow. What can I say? Got to keep busy, absolutely. I definitely thought this IPA was going to be my favorite. However, this brown honey ale is winning me over currently. All right, speaking of apple cinnamon Sizer specifically, this is my 1 gallon keg. I like this thing a lot. It looks really ghetto. This thing is up sideways because I don't know. Anyways, I recently bought this. I've had it for like 2 months now. But it literally is just a 1 gallon keg. So I have put my man-made Sizer, which is currently sitting in here. Look at all that stuff. Sorry you can't see above it, but what a mess. I have 5 gallons of man-made Sizer to do something with, and I wanted to carbonate part of it. Now, it is stabilized and it is back sweetened, so there's no chance of bottle carbonation. So what I have done here is added a gallon of it in here, pumped it full of CO2. This is specifically CO2 made for brewing, for carbonating, and not necessarily for, well, I should say these cartridges are generally used in like BB guns and those things, but this is a brewing version. You pump up the CO2, you let it set just like you would keg something, and get yourself a brew. So here we are. That's going to be extra carbonated. Do I want it? Yeah. Yeah, first pour is always pretty carbonated. There we go. We got a nice little head on there. This is an apple cinnamon mead. Again, one of my pride and joys because I feel like I've made so many of them now that I've gotten decent at it. So 7% carbonated, light-bodied, cold, super good. This thing, absolutely one of my favorite meads. So refreshing, perfect for a summer day. The cinnamon bark itself has added some body that I really like. It's also added, of course, the cinnamon taste, which is its own. Oh, I'm getting like nutmeg. Sorry, distracted. There's like a layering of flavors. That's a new flavor. Wow. Yeah, so I'm getting some like extra spice flavor. I used organic cinnamon stick, which I learned, by the way, this is just my experience, so don't yell at me. Organic cinnamon, for some reason, imparts flavor faster than if you buy cinnamon sticks from Walmart. So I use clover honey in this, cinnamon sticks, all of those things. It's really good. Steve, have you made any videos on how to use keg like that? I did. I have a video on it. I can't remember when it'll be out, but it will be out one day. So be on the lookout for that. It's like called 1 gallon keg or something. Hey, you found a solution to not having enough space for a full kegging system. I definitely did. It's nice to be able to not worry about that. 1 second. All right, what else we got? I have been interested in attempting to make a sour mead, kind of like a sour beer. Have you tried, what on earth is that word? Lactobacillus? Bacteria to sour a mead. I have not tried that insanely odd name for a bacteria, but it sounds interesting. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sorry, Ryan. I wish I could tell you something about it. I don't know. Um, it does work great. This 1 gallon keg. Here's the problem with it. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. It's expensive, and the reason I got it is because you guys are able to support me. Honestly, if I was on my own, I'd have a harder time doing it. It was like $100 for this keg, which it's a long term thing. There's a niche factor to it in that if I was going to go camping, if I was going to go, on a picnic, I could take this 1 gallon keg with me and go somewhere. Now, is it for everybody? No, it's really not. If I had all the money in the world, all the space in the world, I would get a kegerator and get a ton of things going on. However, I don't have that, so that's kind of a bummer. But it's expensive. There's a video coming out about it. If you want to buy it, absolutely. In fact, there's a link. I'd have to find the link, but specifically, it's one that helps me. So if you purchase through that link, it helps kick back some money to me, and it's kind of nice, which is nice. Spiced cider with clove, allspice, and cinnamon. Definitely, that's kind of what I'm getting here. Raven says, "Great to see your channel. It's still going, man. Enjoying everything you've been putting out. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot." Javier says, "Try Philly Sour East. That way you don't infect your equipment and have to buy separate equipment for sours." Interesting. I didn't think about infecting equipment. Obviously, I know when you don't sanitize well, you can do that. Or with like plastic buckets and things, if you are scraping the side of it, you can dig holes into it, and next thing you know, you have other problems. So, natural Andrew, yeah, Andrew just mentioned. I can't talk. Sorry. There is a new yeast that's for sours, and I just heard about it the other day, but I can't remember what it is exactly. I've noticed some of my meads seem to impart their flavors in layers. It's interesting you say that, because that's what happened with this one. I have the, I'll say original before I kegged it version. When I first kegged this thing, it was not. I mean, you get this sweetness from the clover honey, yeah, and apple, because I used apple juice and a combination of a bunch of different apples: Gala, Pink Lady, Red Delicious, maybe. I can't remember what the last apple I used was. I use those kind of apples, and then cinnamon. So there are layers to those flavors. You get sweetness from apples, you get the fruitiness from the apples, you get the tannic value from the apples. Cinnamon stick, you have the bark of it, which can impart some, of course, cinnamon flavor, but specifically some other things, some mouthfeel, some body, and I was getting some like nutmeg clove feel from it as well. I mean, I'm a fan. Again, working on perfecting this even more. I just think that at the end of the day, I'm at the point where I'm about to hit 120 recipes done on not done, but started at least on the channel. And I love getting to make new things, but I also want to make things that are like classic to me. So this is a classic one to me. I would consider like the mixed berry that I make a classic. There are just a bunch of different things I would consider making repeats of, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to make things that I'm proud of to give to friends, which is probably the most important thing. As a mead maker, you want to be making things that you can give away to friends that they'll like. You don't want to give them your worst brew. I think that's so silly if you're like, I don't like this thing, I'm going to give it to my friend. You're going to turn people off from mead making in general. Don't do that. Make sure you give them stuff you're proud of. Having trouble getting crystal clear mead, like I see with others. Can you share your thoughts on this? I have bentonite on the way. Interesting you say that. I did a recent test with a bunch of different things. Actually, some of them are behind me right now. Some clearing methods. The clearing methods I would suggest, Sparkloid generally works well. It doesn't work well with pectic. So if you're using apple-based tannic value or tannic full fruit, like apples, pears, other things, I can't remember, don't use Sparkloid. It doesn't work. Sparkloid, though, will work for most other things. The one that worked the best, in my opinion, is Dual Fine. Now, it's hard to find right now, and I was talking to Doing the Most the other day, and he said that he was actually trying to buy some more Dual Fine, and he was having a hard time getting it in stock. So, I would suggest that if you can get a hold of it. It worked well for me. It was super good. I don't know his experience yet, so that's what I would suggest. You can also cold crash, which helps. You can also just play the patient game and just say, "Hey, I'm just gonna not touch it for like 6 months to a year," which is hard because obviously we want to drink our brews. So I understand if you don't want to go that route. Sparkloid, bentonite works well. It actually works really well. I should say that. I don't mean to bash bentonite. It did, one of my old brews, it did strip some flavor, but that's fine. And Dual Fine. Those are 3 things I would suggest if you could try it. Welcome, new people. If you just joined, super glad you're here. We're chatting. I have a bunch of brews that I've made and a couple beers. This is a sizer, and I'm enjoying getting to talk to you guys. This is great. Refining a recipe and making something memorable is better than making a novelty recipe. I can absolutely say that. I made that birthday cake mead, if you guys remember, and while that's super nice, at the end of the day, am I going to repeat the birthday cake mead? Absolutely not. There's no part of me that says I want to make more birthday cake mead. Do I want to make more of this? Do I want to make more of my peppermint mead or my mixed berry or an Acer Glen or something like that? Definitely, for sure. Super clear. That's the other one. Thank you, Ryan. I forgot to say that. Do you think you will ever take some of your best recipes to a brew house to see if you could join a brewer business or start your own? That's a great question. Honestly, with the stage of life I'm at right now, I have a ton of recipes and I have some that I think I'm proud of. I would love to start my own meadery, cidery of some sort, winery. The problem is getting into that business, which is kind of hard. It's just like a new thing. You kind of have to drop your old life in some ways and just go head first into a new one. So I would like to do that, but it'll be a very specially circumstance situation, and I'd like to do it. There are no grand plans currently. I also feel like even though I've done all of this research on mead, I am still learning so much every single day about brewing in general. So I can't. I'd be scared to jump in as a commercial mead maker with still feeling like I have such a low amount of experience. Bob says, I've been learning that discipline to wait and let settle for a few months. Have 20 gallons of perfectly clear batches in the basement now. There you go. Patience is hard, but it's worth it. Jonathan says, I like to do big batches or classic or favorite brew, then I do a little silly one smoked mead. There you go. Ooh. Welcome, Brazil. Man, that's wild. It must be late where you're at, because maybe it's not that late. It's probably 10. Have you ever tried to infuse honey? I came across random honey in the supermarket that said it was infused with cinnamon to back sweeten and make my own to infuse it. Yes. Don't want to spoil anything. I have used infused honey. And you'll see some videos in the future with some infused honey. I have actually bought even more infused honey. So there's stuff happening with that's important. That's cool. What do you think the real issues with aging in plastic? I have a ton of plastic buckets. I'm not ready to invest in glass until I find a mead I love. OFC, great question. Here's the problem with plastic. They retain flavors, so if you are constantly brewing in them, even if you clean it well, sometimes it gets soaked into the plastic. So you get you're getting imparting of flavors for one. Two, you can have plasticky flavors in general because not all plastic, in fact, most plastic, even with time, can affect what is it, BPA? I don't remember what the real thing is, but essentially it's plasticky flavors you get. It's like the taste of an old water bottle. If you leave your water bottle beside your bed for a year and then you come back and drink it, you're going to get that plasticky taste. Same thing. Plastic buckets have a lot of air on top. You can't really condense the amount of air for aging. So what happens is you end up with a oxygenated brew, and you want to avoid that because at the end of the day, that can be a mead killer in itself. So while yes, you do want to find glass carboys for things that you like, you also just generally want to age things in plastic, or not plastic, in glass, because they don't have the same issues. They don't have plasticky flavor. They don't retain flavors, and they don't have a lot of headspace. Most of them bottleneck up at the top, therefore taking the amount of headspace. So where was I at after my tangent? Andrew. Once Andrew starts his business, go support him. I don't know if he tells me what it is. I will plug it away because I would love that. He's going to start a meadery one day. Didn't you use habanero infused honey? Yes, I used this hot honey. It's Mike's hot honey from Walmart. I got it from Walmart, I think. And it had some hot pepper in it. I've also used jam as well. I actually have in here right now another one of my favorite recipes is the pineapple habanero mead, what I call the sweet heat mead. It's a traditional mead. Then there's this 8-ounce jar of pineapple habanero jam from Pot Liquor Kitchen, which they do a bunch of brewing things in general. And it works really well for this mead. So I just dump in 8 ounces into a 3-gallon batch. I let it set for who knows how long, and it turns out to be really, really good. And I back sweeten some too. There's a meadery in Columbus that got to tour before. They shut down. They source honey from some unknown Mennonite guy who only accepts cash. Wow, that's wild. What is your favorite store-bought mead? Currently, and I'm saying currently because I think it'll change in the future, Meridian Hive is killing it for me. I have a bunch of stuff from them. If you want to see my mead reviews, I do lots of commercial mead reviews and personal mead reviews for things. The Man-Made Mead Extras channel, which it's not in the description, but go check it out if you want. That's where I do all the mead reviews and the podcast. Meridian Hive, though, is my current thing. I cloned your apple pie filling mead and also did a blueberry pie filling mead a month ago. They came out on the sweeter side, but they are only 1 month and already amazing. Can't wait to age. Let me know how that turns out, Landon. I would love to hear down the road what you think of that recipe, because obviously I made it myself, and being in a different location can affect how it works. I've been prepping a smoked pineapple habanero boucher. Woo! Yeah, there you go. That sounds good. David says he's currently designing a meadery. Being retired gives me some free range. David, as well, if you start a meadery, let me know. First of all, I would love to try your stuff. 2, I would love to plug you if you start a meadery, because there are people around the world who would love to try some new meads. Eric says, I still have a plastic fermentation bucket that smells like my apple cider that I left in there for 3 weeks while infusing apple. That was about a year ago. Not a fan of plastic. I agree. I did the video recently on the channel between fermenting really in plastic and a carboy, or a bucket versus a carboy. And there is a difference between your aging factor, between the actual fermenting side. There's not a huge difference, in my opinion. Roy, I'm super glad to help. Hopefully that's what you mean. You probably got some good information from them as well. Gotta top myself off. All right, I got time for a few more questions, and then I've got to get some dinner in me because it's 7 o'clock and it's time for that. So, what else we got? What other questions, comments, anything you guys are thinking about? I'm here to chat. So, this thing, I left the carbonation on too high, so it's got a nice big head. That's so good, man. I love sizers. Sizers are like my favorite thing. Also, I started experimenting some with some for a video with some Easter Glen or some maple syrup based meads, and I'll tell you what, fantastic stuff. Fantastic. When did you get that new toy? Never seen you force carb anything. This has been around for maybe a month or two. I did a video on it, and that will be coming out in the future, but I've had it for a little bit. Super nice. I really like it. Can you bottle from a keg? There is a way to do it. You have to have some adapters, so to speak. So I couldn't bottle from this, unfortunately, because it's just not really made for bottling from this point. So I guess you could, if I put a tube from here and then bottle it, capped it real fast to preserve the carbonation. There are these things called beer guns, which people use all the time, that are specifically made for bottling from kegs. It basically pushes CO2 and your kegged mead out at the same time, and then you cap it, and it carbonates. It stays carbonated. So this gets to be a little bit sketchy, because you saw when I just poured this, there was a lot of carbonation, aka a lot of air that hit it, so it gets oxygenated decently quickly. So it'd be hard to retain a true brew, after forced carbing bottling. Will you ever try to do a mead with Kvike? And yes, there's one on the way. I promise you. I don't know when it will be out, but there is a Kvike mead in progress, currently in this room. I'll just leave it at that. Have you ever tried any beer yeast in a mead? I'm using Kvike. Yes, so I have used that Kvike. And I can tell you that I'm doing a collaborative thing with Doing the Most on that, so it should be interesting. Are we able to send you samples of our mead for you to review on the Extras channel and get feedback on? Breaking Gravity, so you can send me stuff. My P.O. Box, I think, is down there. It says P.O. Box. You can send me stuff. I won't do it on the channel. That's for my own reasonings, but I will send you a video of me trying it, so you will get feedback. It's just not going to be on the channel. It will be a personal Google Drive link that I just send you back and say, hey, this is what I think. So feel free to send that. Let's see. Saga on YouTube put a hose on his keg spout and bottled that way. It can work, like I'm saying. You just have to cap it really fast. Tito, cheers. I had a mishap when I bottled Braggot with foaming. Yeah, it can be a ruiner, that's for sure. I bought 3 boxes of champagne bottles for a sparkling blueberry. It never fermented in the bottles, so I poured it out into normal bottles. That was an expensive fall. Been there, done that. Here's the thing, though. If you make a mistake, you are learning from that mistake. So don't be too hard on yourself. You have learned something, probably controversial thing, ready? You probably learned something more valuable than the mead you made by making the mistake. So don't be too hard on yourself. At the end of the day, make things, don't feel free to make mistakes, but accept your mistakes, run forward with it after you learn. Steven says, thanks for all the effort. Making the videos is very helpful to have your videos for reference. I'm happy to help. This is a lot of fun for me, and I'll do it for as long as I can until I run out of ideas. Obviously, life's getting a little more busy, but that's, I'll keep doing what I can. You're welcome, Breaking Gravity. I learned watch out of yeast tolerance. Definitely watch out for yeast tolerance. So, all right, I gotta close this bar down in the next 5 minutes because I gotta go and get some dinner and take care of some other things. So, got 5 minutes. what else we got? Any other questions? Any other amazing things? What else you guys got to say? Because I think that at the end of the day, you guys hold more information than I do. I'm just one man, brewing and making my own mistakes. And I enjoy getting to do these. This is fun. This is a lot of fun for me. Let's see. Maybe I can pull it up. If anyone's curious, what am I looking for? There we go. Sorry, I'm pulling up this link for you guys for the keg. If you're interested in buying this keg, where is it at? Ooh, there's another one here. Hey, this is I'll put 2. Here we go. So this is the 1 gallon keg I have, and no, just a little too big. That's the 1 gallon keg I have. You can check it out there. This is something I just see. I've never used it. I'm gonna go and tell you, I've never used this thing, but there is a chance this thing could be cool. It's a specific. Wow, this is much cheaper too. And it's 1.6 gallons, so that could be cool. All right, so this is the other one. Other keg. There you go. There are 2 links in the chat for anybody watching this now or in the future. If you want to see those, you can check those out. Those are Amazon affiliate links, so if you want to purchase that, it does support the channel, so you can feel maybe a little better about buying it. I don't know. Nettle mead, that sounds interesting. Realistically, how long should I be waiting for mead to clear in the secondary? That is not a there's not a great answer for that. At the end of the day, it could be 4 months, it could be a year. It just depends on the mead. Everything's different. I've had a pear mead that sat for a year, never cleared. It just depends on what it is, unfortunately. Made a watermelon mead. Didn't turn all that well. Made a heck of a salad. Ooh, a salad dressing. Interesting. Are you doing a mead with local honey, seeing as it is that time of the year? I think I made a hydromel recently that had some local honey, so it was pretty good. What are your favorite brews so far? This apple cinnamon for sure. The peppermint is up there. The mixed berry, the sweet heat mead, which is the pineapple habanero. Those are my probably top 4. Bochet's, I love the apple pie bochet. Blueberry bochet I've made. What's some other ones? Just traditional regular bochet. It's also very good. Ever thought about making some mixed fermentation mead? Like different yeasts? Yeah, I think that'd be really interesting to try. You said the same thing twice. What? Oops. Oh, sorry. I'll fix that. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I guess. Where? Oh, man. Sorry. Text. I need a shorter link. There we go. Okay, there it is. Here is other keg. That's a link to the other keg. That'll help. I made a mellow with tart cherry juice 3 months ago. It tastes great. Hasn't cleared. Pectolace. That was cloud itself. Will it clear or should I bottle it? You can definitely clear it. It might take some cold crashing, some Sparkloid, some Easy Clear, some other sort of product to help you out with that. But how about runner bean? I got too many. Do it. Throw it together. See what happens. Who knows? All right, y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by and having a drink with me. If you got to, partake, great. If not, if you're watching this, of course, in the future, I hope you're enjoying your day as well. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you have a great Sunday night. Do something exciting. Go make some mead at the end of the day. My videos might be entertaining, but the most important thing for you to do is to go out and make mead yourself. I can only describe to you the taste of my mead so well, but you can make the mead yourself, taste it, and get some similar feedback. So I enjoy getting to do this, but I will always be a proponent of you guys taking charge, helping us run forward with this mead making world. And yeah, so go check out the other brewing channels in the world. We have a ton of them. There are a bunch of up and coming people. There's some big people too as well. And we're all making content that is geared towards mead making. Feel free to share every video you find. It doesn't matter. I'm not the type of YouTuber to say it's my, go share my stuff all the time. I know I don't make all the best stuff. I know there are some other brewers who make some amazing content, and I think that you guys not only benefit from it, but other people benefit from it. So feel free to share. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers to everybody in the chat and post life. Have a great night. See you next time. And here's the awkward moment where I have to turn off the camera.